there, Star Trek fans. Scott Moviemantz here. I have been a massive, die-hard Star Trek fan since I was 6 years old. The moment I saw my first Star Trek episode in 1974 in syndication, the episode that did it for me was Mirror, Mirror. It is a great episode, one of the very best, and it's interesting because most of the action takes place in the Mirror universe. So it's an atypical episode of Star Trek. But it's the one that got me hooked. But I have to say, the reason I became a Star Trek fan, there were a lot of reasons. But the number one reason is because of Captain Kirk. He is my hero. He still is my hero. And William Shatner's performance as Captain Kirk is legendary. It is iconic. And just imagine the sheer joy when in 2017, at Creation Entertainment's annual Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, I got to moderate an hour-long conversation on stage in front of 5,000 people with the man himself. He was in great spirits. It was an awesome interview, and I'm so proud and excited to share highlights from that interview right here. So check it out, enjoy it, and live long and prosper.
All rise. I've always wanted to do this. And give it up for William Shatner. When you watch, like for those of us who have sort of seen these episodes over and over again, when you're watching the first few episodes of the first season, you can tell that everyone is still finding their way. That like Leonard is still trying to figure out how to play Spock. The lighting, the pacing of the show. But what always fascinated me, no pun intended here, is when you watch your first pilot, the one that you did, Where No Man Has Gone Before. The look of the show is different. Obviously, Leonard looks very different as Spock. McCoy isn't even in it. But from Act 1, Scene 1 of that show, you had Kirk down. You had him down.
Well, my training as an actor, I started performing as a child. And I hear myself say this every so often, so I get slightly nauseated when I say it again. But I've never done anything else. I've only been in front of an audience as an actor or writing or directing or producing or playing the fool. I play the fool a lot. But I was an experienced actor. I mean, years, decades of experience, and I'd been I'd been an actor at the Stratford Festival in Ontario, Canada, which was lauded, I think even now, but certainly then, lauded as the finest classical company in North America. And in fact, we took Shakespeare to the English Isles on a certain festival. And we brought it down to New York, a play by Marlowe, which is akin to Shakespeare. They think maybe Marlowe was Shakespeare. So there was a relationship. So I was a trained classical actor. And the thing about heroes in Shakespeare is they're noble. They're kings. They stand in a certain way. They speak. And a phrase somewhere had occurred to me. It's called, the phrase I heard was the look of eagles, so that you're always looking either to the horizon to see whether the enemy is coming or looking into the future. Or there's something about being a hero that puts your shoulders back. So when I came to Star Trek, and I said to
James Goldstone?
No.
Gene Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry.
Okay.
Well, And I said to Roddenberry, well, who is he? What is it? He said, read the books of Horatio Hornblower, or Horatio Hornblower, as we call him. Horatio Hornblower was a series of books written by Forrester, and I read them, and he was just an ordinary captain there, but he had his eye on the horizon, because in those days they didn't know whether a strange animal would swallow the ship. And Captain Kirk had the same problem, didn't he, come to think of it? I wonder if there's a strange animal that's going to swallow the Enterprise. I don't know. So I played it like a classical hero, and that gave me a little advantage on other people.
But here's, like, again, the training, the Shakespearean training that you had, the stage training, the Broadway, when it wasn't just you were playing Kirk. Like, you, from early on, you had chances on that show to really stretch your range, even just playing Kirk. I'll spare you the episode titles, but, you know, there's the one where the transporter splits Kirk into the nice guy and the evil one. That got great reviews in the trades. I mean, your performances, you know, you and Leonard especially, your performances were highly praised because of that episode alone. And then there's the episode in the second season when the crew is aging very quickly, and you know, and then there's of course Turnabout Intruder, where a woman is in the body of Kirk. So, you know, those must have been like scripts that you get where you go, I got this.
Well, no, you never say I got this. I tell you, I did say I got this. I made a movie this 3 or 4 months ago called Senior Moment, and I was playing the love interest. I was playing the lead in a movie. I had time to think about what I was doing, and I began to understand. I thought, God, I'm finally understanding how to perform, how to act. I like, these things are coming to me. Like, I've been a horseman for 30 or 40 years, and with understanding the spirit of the horse, I've become a better horseman. I'm thinking, oh, that's what you do. Oh, this is what being a horse. Oh, this is what acting is. After all these years, I'm kind of discovering more and more of what it is. And I had an opportunity in Senior Moment to discover more about acting. If I knew now, if what I know now I could have known back then, I'd have done it better. And I look at some of the earlier work and I think, Lord, I wish, you know, but life is a process of learning, isn't it?
Well, you're also
Is life a process of learning?
Always.
Well, then, when you die, do you finally know, and then you're dead?
You won't know.
No. You say, oh, that's...
But if you stop learning, you stop living. Don't you think that's...
If you stop learning, you stop living, right.
But during the first season, okay, so Roddenberry, you had that talk, you know, the first season is going along. Gene Roddenberry is the day-to-day producer of the show. It's his show. He created it. And then there's a transition from one Gene to another, a Gene who is an unsung hero.
A recessive Gene.
Gene Kuhn. Funny guy.
Yeah, it makes a nice joke, but he was a Marine colonel or something. He was captain. Gene Kuhn. And he set the style, the laconic English style with yes and no, and yes, sir, and minimal words, and not being effusive, but being efficient.
How did his sort of style, working with him as a day-to-day producer, different?
Oh, he was terrific. He was, you know, I'm reminded of McMaster in the White House. He was a Marine. Yes, sir. No, sir. That's the way the military work, and do your job and get going. And if I say to Sulu, turn left, you turn left.
one of the stories that really stuck with me, and it was one that stuck with you because you told the story, is about the cab driver, the Vietnam veteran. Can you share that story? Because I think that's important.
As an actor performing 3 years in a series that was so well written, and I was so delighted to be in it, and so sad when it was over, that was my feeling. And as an actor of many years, even then, these are gigs. You go up on stage this afternoon, perform, and then when it's over this afternoon, it's gone. It never happened. It'll remain in your mind, maybe through dinner, maybe hopefully tomorrow, but then it's gone, along with your dinner. But some experiences can't be flushed away. And this was one of them. I was being called to go to some location, and they send a limo, and it's all very glamorous, and you get into the limo, and I'm in a limo. I never forget that feeling. I'm in a limo. Hey, I'm in a limo. And we drive 15 feet, and the guy stops. Now, I'm young, trained to kill. I'm wondering, is he going to come after me? What's he doing? He turns around and looks straight at me. And he said, I need to talk to you. How do I get out of here? He says, I need to talk to you. I want to tell you something. I want to tell you how you saved my life. What are you talking about? He said, I was a Vietnam veteran. Like McCain, I was put in those cages, up to water, here, tortured, never let out of the water, barely fed. We were dying in there. The only thing that kept us alive, he said, we played the Star Trek game. What's the Star Trek game? All of us knew the dialogue to all of the episodes. And we would play the episode up to water in our neck, trying to stay alive. Trying to stay alive, we played the Star Trek game. And I want to thank you. Well, both of us are weeping, crying, tears. He turns around and drives. I don't know where we went, but that moment stayed in my memory and will forever. That's Star Trek.
That is Star Trek. Star Trek saved lives. Star Trek inspired people to make the world a better place. Star Trek brought us all together. Star Trek changed lives. On behalf of everyone in this room, I want to say, I feel young. Thank you, William Shatner.